Your morning ritual, that first warm cup that starts your day. But what if the convenience you rely on is delivering a daily dose of something you'd never knowingly consume? Acrylamide, mycotoxins, artificial additives. We've investigated the multi-billion-dollar instant coffee industry, and the truth is, most of what's on the shelf shouldn't be. In the next hour, we will expose the 7 brands you must avoid for your health and reveal the 5 that are not just safe, but can actually be part of a wise, healthy life. For decades, they've sold us a promise, the promise of quality, convenience, and a perfect cup of coffee every time. They count on you not reading the fine print. They rely on you not knowing how it's made. The wisdom we seek in life demands clarity, especially in the simple daily choices we make. When companies use misleading words like rich, bold, and mountain-grown, they mask a shocking reality. They hide cheap beans, industrial shortcuts, and processes that strip away the good compounds while introducing the bad. The real scam is not the price tag. It is the deliberate deception that keeps you buying an inferior product day after day. We are here to cut through that noise. We focus on the facts. To understand the great instant coffee scam, you must understand 2 things: sourcing and science. Sourcing means the kind of bean and where it comes from. Science means how they turn that bean into instant powder. We found that the 7 offending brands consistently fail both tests. They rely on the lowest grade Robusta beans, which are bitter and cheaper. Then they use high-heat spray drying. This rapid, destructive process destroys flavor and creates potentially harmful byproducts. It is a process designed for speed and profit, not for your health or your enjoyment. This is where the deception begins. This investigation took months of research and ingredient comparison. We want to empower you with the knowledge to reclaim your morning ritual. If you value this commitment to cutting through the noise and delivering truth, take a moment to subscribe to Primetime Wisdom. Ring that bell so you never miss another guide designed to perfect your life with age. We are about to look closely at the first brand on our list. The truth behind the label may shock you. The first brand we must discuss is one found in nearly every grocery store worldwide. We will call it Brand A, the king of the convenience aisle. Brand A dominates the market by promising a, quote, classic coffee taste. But when we look at the science, we find that this classic taste is achieved through a classic shortcut: low-cost Robusta beans. Robusta beans contain twice the caffeine of Arabica, which seems like a benefit, but they taste harsh, rubbery, and incredibly bitter. To mask this bitterness, Brand A relies on an industrial process called high-heat spray drying. Imagine atomizing coffee extract into a fine mist and dropping it through a 100-foot tower of superheated air. The water evaporates instantly, and a fine powder falls to the floor. This extreme heat not only burns off any subtle flavor remaining in the cheap beans, but it is also directly associated with the formation of a dangerous compound. This compound is acrylamide. Acrylamide is a substance that forms in certain starchy foods during high-temperature cooking, like frying, baking, and, critically, spray drying. The World Health Organization and numerous government bodies warn about high consumption of acrylamide. When we looked at testing data for Brand A, it consistently showed higher levels of this substance compared to gently processed freeze-dried instant coffees. The marketing promises taste, but the process delivers a chemical byproduct designed to alarm health experts. Choosing quality coffee is an investment in your long-term wellness. If your instant coffee dissolves in hot water immediately and clouds the water, that is a physical sign it was spray-dried under extreme heat. Consider that your first warning. Moving to our second brand, we focus on what they don't tell you. We will call this Brand B. Brand B markets itself heavily on value and bulk. It is often the cheapest option per ounce. How do they achieve that price point? By incorporating non-coffee fillers. Many people assume instant coffee is 100% coffee. This is often false, especially with the value brands. Brand B uses maltodextrin and corn syrup solids in many of its flavored and 2-in-1 instant products. These fillers are simple sugars and starches used to add bulk, improve texture, and lower the production costs drastically. The label often lists them clearly, but you have to know what you are looking for. These additions shift the product from being a pure coffee extract to a processed, artificially sweetened, and nutrient-poor beverage. For those monitoring their blood sugar or seeking pure coffee benefits, Brand B is a deceptive trap. Always look for the single ingredient on the label, 100% coffee. If it lists anything else, you are paying for filler. It is important to remember that these corporations are massive. They prioritize shareholder profit over consumer health. They rely on the sheer momentum of brand loyalty. Is your favorite brand on this list yet? Keep watching, because our third offender is a brand that hides behind a false sense of luxury. Our third brand, which we'll call Brand C, attempts to project a European heritage, suggesting quality and artisanal care. You've seen their sleek black packaging and their claims of a continental experience, but look past the imported aesthetic and examine the sourcing. This brand often sources its coffee from the lowest bidder on the commodity market. They blend beans from numerous, undocumented farms across various regions. This lack of specific sourcing is a massive red flag. Why? Because poor growing and storage conditions lead to mycotoxins. Mycotoxins are naturally occurring toxins produced by mold, which can grow on coffee beans, especially those harvested too quickly or stored improperly in humid, subpar environments. Quality coffee producers invest in stringent drying processes and storage facilities to prevent this mold growth. Brand C's commitment to mass production and cost-cutting makes them highly vulnerable to mold contamination. While the levels may not be immediately toxic, chronic, low-level exposure to mycotoxins is linked to inflammation and various subtle health issues over time. A wise life demands attention to these subtle exposures. If a brand cannot clearly state the farm, region, and processing method used, assume the worst. True wisdom comes from questioning what seems too good or too cheap to be true. Now we move to Brand D, which focuses heavily on flavor variety: vanilla, caramel, hazelnut, and more. This is another major point of deception. They are selling you instant coffee that tastes precisely like artificial flavoring. The core coffee used in Brand D's flavored products is generally very poor quality. The beans are often defective, over-roasted, or simply too old to sell as pure coffee. The cheapest way to mask these defects is to saturate the product with artificial flavors and fragrances. When you see natural and artificial flavors listed on the back of a flavored instant coffee packet, you are acknowledging that the flavor of the underlying coffee was insufficient, or worse, repulsive. These artificial flavor compounds are highly volatile and contribute nothing positive to your health. They exist solely to deceive your taste buds into thinking you are enjoying a treat. If you must use instant coffee, avoid anything with a long list of ingredients dedicated purely to taste modification. Choose a product based on the quality of its single ingredient, coffee. This cycle of low-quality beans masked by cheap processes is endemic. Are you beginning to see how the scam works? It's not just one mistake. It's a systematic choice for profit over product integrity. The next 3 brands complete our blacklist of convenience traps. They showcase different facets of the same fundamental deception. Brand E, our 5th brand to avoid, operates under the guise of an energy blend. They claim added performance benefits from extra ingredients. This is a subtle form of deception. Instead of focusing on pure, high-quality coffee, they distract you with supplements like B vitamins, guarana, or added artificial caffeine. Why do they do this? Because their base coffee is so heavily processed and low quality that its natural beneficial compounds, like chlorogenic acids, are largely destroyed. By adding synthetic vitamins and stimulants, they create a product that delivers a quick jolt but misses the sustained, natural benefits of real coffee. You are paying a premium for synthetic boosts to compensate for a poor core product. The wisdom of age teaches us that sustained energy comes from whole, unadulterated sources. The unnecessary additives in Brand E often lead to a harsher crash later in the day. The simple lesson here is, if you want a supplement, take a supplement. If you want coffee, buy pure coffee. Do not buy a blend that attempts to be both, especially when the coffee base is substandard. Next is Brand F, which attempts to capitalize on the gourmet market at an entry-level price. They might advertise 100% Arabica, which sounds good, but this is the ultimate deceptive keyword. Arabica is generally the superior bean, but the term alone guarantees nothing about its quality. Brand F buys the absolute lowest quality of Arabica available, often called commercial grade or C-grade beans. These are beans that are poorly sorted, heavily insect damaged, or have significant visual defects. They are bought cheaply because no specialty roaster would touch them. They are then over-roasted to a dark, oily char to mask their inherent faults before being turned into instant powder. The result is a bitter, burnt taste that leaves a dry, unpleasant sensation on the tongue. You are technically getting Arabica, but it is the worst possible version of it. You deserve better than discarded beans salvaged and scorched for quick profit. When evaluating coffee, the origin and processing matter far more than just the bean type. Our final brand on the avoidance list, Brand G, is often sold in large plastic tubs behind institutional counters. It's cheap, it's durable, and it's a foundational product in many offices and commercial settings. This brand is the epitome of the spray-drying Robusta-based deception we discussed earlier. Its key deception is not health-related, but environmental and ethical. Due to its sheer volume and focus on the lowest possible price, Brand G is notorious for cutting corners on sourcing ethics. This level of cost-cutting often means poor labor practices and unsustainable high-yield farming that strips nutrients from the soil. Buying this product supports a system that prioritizes cheap volume over the well-being of the growers and the environment. A well-lived life considers legacy and ethical impact. Choosing Brand G is choosing to ignore the human cost of cheap convenience. We can and must do better with our dollars. These 7 brands, Brand A through G, represent the systematic pitfalls of the instant coffee market. They rely on the illusion of convenience at any cost. But there is a clear alternative. The industry is changing. The rise of quality coffee has forced innovation, leading to a new class of instant coffee that truly deserves your attention and your money. We are moving now from the scam to the solution, revealing the 5 brands that are honestly worth it. The 5 brands that are actually worth your money share a common philosophy. They prioritize the bean's integrity over production speed. They reject the high-heat shortcuts of the scam artists. The primary difference is the process. These superior brands use freeze-drying not spray drying. Freeze-drying is the secret weapon. Here's how it works. The coffee is first brewed into a highly concentrated extract. This extract is then frozen to around 40 degrees below zero. The frozen coffee is placed into a vacuum chamber, and the pressure is dropped. The frozen water bypasses the liquid stage entirely, turning directly into gas. This process is called sublimation. The result is a light, porous coffee crystal that maintains the vast majority of its original flavor compounds, aroma, and beneficial acids. It is a slow, expensive process, but it is the only way to deliver true coffee flavor in an instant form. Our first recommended brand, Brand H, is a champion of this method. They understand that a great instant coffee starts with great ingredients. Brand H focuses exclusively on single-origin, high-altitude Arabica beans. High-altitude beans grow slower, which concentrates their flavor and complexity. Brand H is a testament to transparency. They list the exact region, the elevation, and often the processing farm right on the package. This is the opposite of the vague, commodity sourcing practiced by the avoidance list. When you buy Brand H, you are paying for quality control from the moment the bean is picked. This meticulous care eliminates concerns about mycotoxins and ensures a clean, vibrant cup every time. If a coffee brand is willing to tell you where the coffee was grown, that's your signal of true quality. The second brand, Brand I, approaches instant coffee from the perspective of sustainability. They utilize the expensive freeze-drying process, but their true advantage lies in their ethical certifications. They are often certified fair trade and organic. Fair trade means the farmers are guaranteed a minimum price for their beans, providing stable income and promoting healthy labor practices. Organic certification means the beans were grown without synthetic pesticides or fertilizers, protecting both the consumer and the environment. Since coffee is one of the most heavily sprayed crops globally, choosing organic instant coffee significantly reduces your daily chemical exposure. Brand I proves that convenience does not have to come at the expense of your values or your health. For those building a legacy of wisdom, choosing ethical products is a powerful step. The key lesson here is to look for evidence, not just promises. The good brands wear their certifications proudly. The scam brands hide behind generic slogans. The difference is clear once you know what to look for. Our third excellent brand, Brand J, focuses specifically on the flavor profile and is a clear alternative to the burnt, bitter tastes of the lower-quality instant coffees. Brand J is a pioneer in the specialty instant movement. This means they start with beans that would otherwise be used by high-end coffee shops. They take the same lightly roasted, bright and complex Arabica beans, brew them using professional methods, and then immediately freeze-dry the extract. This ensures that the delicate fruity, floral, and nutty notes, which are instantly destroyed by the harsh spray-drying method, are perfectly preserved. The taste difference is profound. It's the difference between drinking pure, fresh coffee and drinking coffee-flavored water. For the older coffee lover who remembers when all instant coffee was terrible, Brand J is a revelation. It proves that convenience no longer requires sacrificing pleasure. Pay attention to the roast level advertised. Brand J often specifies a medium or light roast. This is important. A light roast preserves the natural complexities of the bean. The scam brands use dark roasts because darkness hides imperfections. Look for the lighter roast to ensure you are getting a purer, more honest flavor profile. Brand K, our fourth recommendation, is unique because they package their instant coffee in single-serve sticks. While this might seem like simple convenience, it's also a powerful tool for preserving freshness. Coffee, even in its freeze-dried state, is highly susceptible to oxidation. Exposure to air degrades the flavor compounds rapidly. The large jars of instant coffee, sold by the scam brands, start losing flavor the moment you open the lid. Brand K's individual packaging seals the freshness until the exact moment you brew it. This is a subtle but critical commitment to quality. For people who only drink coffee occasionally or who travel frequently, Brand K is the definitive wise choice. It ensures that your 10th cup from the box tastes as vibrant as your first. Convenience and preservation are perfectly aligned. Always check the packaging. If a freeze-dried coffee comes in a small, airtight, single-serve container, the manufacturer has prioritized the end-user experience. Finally, Brand L represents the future of instant coffee innovation. This company has invested heavily in proprietary low-temperature extraction methods, even before the freezing stage. They minimize heat exposure throughout the entire process. Why does this matter? Because heat is the enemy of all beneficial coffee compounds. Brand L's low-temperature methods ensure higher retention of chlorogenic acids, which are the powerful antioxidants linked to reduced inflammation and improved metabolism. You are not just getting convenience, you are getting a functional beverage that supports your health goals. Choosing Brand L is choosing the maximum health benefit available in the instant coffee market. They charge a little more, but they deliver a product that is cleaner, better tasting, and actively beneficial. Remember, wisdom means valuing long-term benefit over short-term savings. The combination of freeze-drying and low-temperature extraction is the gold standard. These 5 brands, H, I, J, K, and L, are the new foundation for a wise coffee habit. They prove that you can be busy and still demand excellence. But simply buying the right coffee is only half the battle. We must now address the common mistakes people make when brewing instant coffee, even the good stuff. One of the most common brewing mistakes is using boiling water. When you pour aggressively boiling water onto even the highest quality freeze-dried coffee, you risk scorching the delicate flavor compounds that the expensive process worked so hard to preserve. Remember, the good instant coffee has already been fully processed. You are not brewing it, you are rehydrating it. The ideal water temperature is around 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. This is well below a boil. If you use a kettle, let the water rest for about 60 seconds after it clicks off before pouring. This simple adjustment eliminates the harsh, metallic taste that sometimes plagues instant coffee. This one easy change improves your cup dramatically, regardless of the brand you use. Another pitfall, especially for those accustomed to the murky depths of the scam brands, is over-scooping. Because cheap spray-dried coffee tastes weak and burnt, people often add an extra spoonful, hoping to add flavor. With the premium, freeze-dried products, this is unnecessary and will only make your drink too strong and astringent. Follow the instructions precisely. Most good instant coffees recommend 1 level teaspoon per 8 ounces of water. Trust the quality. You need less product to achieve a rich, full flavor. The key to mastering instant coffee is restraint and precision. Let's also address the myth that instant coffee needs heavy sweeteners to be palatable. The truth is, if your coffee requires 2 sugars and heavy cream to mask the bitterness, you are drinking a scam brand. High-quality instant coffee, like brands H through L, should stand on its own. Try tasting your new premium instant coffee black first. You might discover subtle notes you never knew coffee could possess. This is part of the joy of making a wiser choice. If you are transitioning away from those sugar-filled flavored creamers, try incorporating a small amount of cinnamon or a dash of vanilla extract instead. These add depth without adding excessive sugar, allowing the true flavor of the quality coffee to still shine through. Simplicity often yields the best results. We have covered the 7 brands to eliminate and the 5 brands to adopt. Now, let's quickly address a few lingering objections, especially for the viewer seeking practical long-term advice. You might ask, is a premium instant coffee truly better than a drip-brewed cup? The answer is complex but useful. A perfectly brewed cup from a high-end burr grinder and a pour-over maker will always be superior. However, the best specialty instant coffee is significantly better than a quick, mediocre cup brewed from stale, commercial-grade beans in a cheap office machine. Instant coffee is designed for true convenience. When speed matters, choose the specialty instant. Do not compromise your standards just because you are in a rush. Another common question is about storage. We established that the single-serve packets of brand K are superior for freshness. But if you buy a jar of quality freeze-dried coffee, how should you store it? The enemy is moisture, heat, and air. Never store your jar near the stove, above the coffee maker, or in the refrigerator. The refrigerator exposes the coffee to constant condensation and odors. Find a cool, dark cupboard. After you open the jar, always reseal the lid tightly. Some premium brands include a small desiccant pack in the lid. Leave it there. Proper storage can extend the peak freshness of your quality instant coffee for months. For those of us managing dietary restrictions later in life, the ingredients of the scam brands become even more critical. Many popular instant coffee mixes, particularly the ones that include milk solids or sweeteners, contain ingredients like dipotassium phosphate or carrageenan, often used as stabilizers. These unnecessary additives can be inflammatory or disruptive to a sensitive digestive system. The 5 recommended brands, in their pure form, are simply 100% coffee. This purity is vital for long-term gut health and clarity. By choosing single-ingredient products, you regain control over everything else you put into your body. The transition from a cheap, chemically masked coffee to a clean, quality instant coffee may initially taste different. You may notice less aggressive bitterness and perhaps more subtle acidity or sweetness. Allow your palate a week to adjust. The cheap brands train your taste buds to crave high bitterness and filler. The quality brands retrain your palate to appreciate true coffee flavor. This is part of perfecting wisdom with age, seeking genuine quality over artificial intensity. We have arrived at the end of our investigation. We began by exposing the great scam, the systematic failures of the 7 largest offenders who prioritize cheapness over consumer integrity. We learned about the dangers of acrylamide, the deception of fillers, and the risks of mycotoxins in poorly sourced beans. We then moved to the solution, discovering the 5 innovative brands that use the slow, gentle freeze-drying process and prioritize transparency and ethical sourcing. The knowledge is now yours. You can walk into any grocery store, ignore the loudest, cheapest brands, and find the true value based on processing method and ingredient purity. This knowledge empowers you to choose wellness, quality, and ethical impact with every morning cup. This is not just about coffee. It is about demanding excellence in the small daily routines that define a well-lived life. If you appreciate wisdom that cuts through the noise and helps you make smarter choices, ensure you like this video and subscribe to Prime Time Wisdom. We are dedicated to bringing you the profound insights and practical advice that truly matter. Check your cupboard today. Make the switch. Your morning self will thank you. Now let's put this knowledge into immediate practical use with a quick reference guide. When you are standing in the coffee aisle, there are 3 non-negotiable checks to perform before any purchase. First, check the process. Scan the label immediately for the term freeze-dried. If it says spray-dried or uses vague terms like concentrated coffee, put it back. Remember, freeze-drying preserves quality. Spray-drying sacrifices it. Second, check the ingredient list. The only word you should see in the ingredients is coffee. If you see maltodextrin, corn syrup solids, artificial flavors, or any list of chemical stabilizers, you are looking at a scam product. Purity is power in this market. Third, check the sourcing promise. Look for any mention of the bean type. Aim for 100% Arabica, and any ethical or quality certifications like organic, fair trade, or specific origin transparency. If the package just says instant coffee, you can be certain they are hiding the low-grade Robusta beans we discussed. Applying these 3 simple filters eliminates 90% of the bad products instantly. It turns a confusing, overwhelming aisle into a simple, 2-minute selection process. The wisdom gained here is efficiency, combined with quality assurance. Consider the 5 quality brands we highlighted, H, I, J, K, and L, as your starting point. You may notice they cost 2 to 3 times more than the avoidance list brands. Do not be deterred by this. Because these premium freeze-dried coffees are so concentrated and high quality, you often use less product per cup. The true cost difference over time is smaller than you think, and the return on investment in your health and daily pleasure is immense. Quality never truly costs. It pays in dividends of satisfaction and well-being. Take the time this week to empty your cupboard of the deception and stock it with the truth. That simple action demonstrates a commitment to a life lived wisely, a life where even the quickest daily cup is chosen with intention. This intentionality is the hallmark of the wisdom we perfect with age. We empower you to make every choice count. The impact of switching to a purer product goes beyond flavor and focuses heavily on our cognitive clarity. Many individuals, especially as they get older, find themselves more sensitive to the harshness and unknown chemicals found in the scam brands. Headaches, digestive upset, and even jitteriness can often be traced back to the low-quality processing and chemical residues. When you switch to a clean, single-origin freeze-dried coffee, you often find a smoother, more sustained energy boost without the sharp anxiety or the rapid crash. This smoother experience is partly due to the preserved natural compounds and the absence of high levels of acrylamide, which is a known irritant. A wise mind needs stable energy, not volatile spikes. We need to talk briefly about the subtle temptation of instant espresso. Some brands market their instant coffee as espresso style. This usually means the granules are finely ground and the coffee has been roasted darker. While a darker roast might seem appealing, remember the lesson about brand F. Dark roasting is frequently used to mask poor quality beans. Do not be fooled by the dark color or the fancy name. Always default back to the 3 checks: freeze-dried, pure ingredients, and sourcing transparency. If a dark roast meets those 3 criteria, it's a legitimate quality product. If it doesn't, it's just another bitter cover-up. For those dedicated to finding the very best, try cold brewing the quality instant coffee. While it sounds counterintuitive, using cold water and stirring gently preserves even more of the subtle sweetness and reduces any remaining perceived acidity. Simply add your freeze-dried granules to cold filtered water and stir until dissolved. This results in a cleaner, smoother iced coffee than any of the cheap instant varieties could ever hope to produce. Making the change is about taking a small, practical step toward living a more examined life. We are replacing a blind, habitual purchase with an informed, deliberate choice. This video is meant to be a permanent resource. Revisit the 5 recommended brands and the 7 brands to avoid as needed. Share this knowledge with your friends and family. The goal is to elevate the standard, one kitchen cupboard at a time. The power to choose better lies entirely in your hands. Let's circle back to the core reason why these scams persist. Convenience is paramount in modern life, but the industry exploits the assumption that speed requires sacrifice. They assume you are too busy to care about the quality of the bean or the method of drying. This is where our channel's wisdom comes into play. We refuse to accept that false dichotomy. We prove that speed and quality can coexist. Consider the time saved by having instant coffee versus brewing a full pot, yet gaining a result that rivals or even surpasses a typical coffee shop brew. That is the true value proposition of the 5 recommended brands. They offer peak efficiency without the ethical or health compromises. This shift in mindset, valuing true efficiency over cheap shortcuts, is essential for a productive and well-managed retirement or later career stage. We've covered the ingredients and the process, but what about the packaging itself? Notice how the scam brands A through G, almost always use large glass jars or plastic tubs. This looks like value, but it is often just a cost-saving measure for them. The quality brands, H through L, often utilize smaller, darker, or specialized packaging. Darker glass or opaque materials protect the coffee from light exposure, which is another silent killer of flavor. Smaller packaging ensures the product does not sit on the shelf or in your pantry, exposed to air for months on end. Even the smallest details in packaging reflect the manufacturer's respect for their product and, by extension, their customer. Choose the brand that protects the integrity of the product until it reaches your cup. As a final encouraging step, once you choose a quality instant coffee, try experimenting with it beyond the simple hot cup. Use it to enhance a homemade chocolate cake. Dissolve it into warm milk for an exceptional hot chocolate boost, or even mix it with chili powder for a dry rub on steak. The clean, pure flavor of a quality instant coffee is versatile and far superior to using a scam product that might introduce unwanted bitterness or chemical notes to your recipes. Embrace the culinary versatility that pure ingredients offer. Every aspect of your pantry should reflect quality and intentionality. The discussion of price deserves one final clarification. When evaluating the cost of a daily habit, we must use a lifetime perspective. Switching to a high-quality freeze-dried instant coffee might cost an extra $1 or $2 per week. But what is the cost of sustained, low-level exposure to high acrylamide or mycotoxin levels found in the scam brands? What is the cost of relying on artificial flavors that dull your palate? The wisdom we cultivate allows us to see beyond the initial sticker price. We are not just purchasing coffee. We are purchasing clarity, peace of mind, and superior flavor. Viewing this as an investment, rather than an expense, fundamentally changes the decision-making process. The goal is to spend your money wisely, and sometimes that means paying slightly more for something that offers true, uncompromised quality. Remember that the ultimate authority here is your own body and your own taste buds. If you transition to one of the 5 recommended brands and find that the flavor is too bright or too acidic, that is perfectly fine. The market offers dozens of excellent specialty instant coffees today. Use our 3 core checks: freeze-dried process, pure ingredients, and transparent sourcing as your navigational compass. If a coffee passes those 3 tests, it is an honest product, even if its flavor profile isn't your personal preference. We've now armed you with the definitive roadmap for navigating this deceptive industry. We dismantled the great scam step by step, revealing the cheap tricks and chemical shortcuts that dominate the mass market. We then elevated the discussion, showing that innovation and integrity have created truly exceptional, convenient alternatives. Make the choice today to stop supporting the scam. Look at your current jar. If it falls into the avoidance list, know that you have the knowledge and the power to make an immediate, positive change. Choosing excellence in these small, daily acts of consumption is how we build a truly rich and wise life. If this guide has saved you from making a bad purchase or inspired you to seek out genuine quality, ensure you like this video and subscribe to Primetime Wisdom. We are dedicated to providing the practical insights that empower your retirement and later life. Choose well, live wisely. Let's address one final practical consideration for our viewers: the preparation of instant coffee for travel and emergency use. The beauty of the premium instant coffee, especially the individually packaged sticks of Brand K, is their portability and shelf stability. The scam brands are often relied upon for camping or emergency kits simply because they are cheap. But imagine facing an uncomfortable situation only to be rewarded with a terrible, chemically laced cup of coffee. The small investment in high-quality instant coffee fundamentally upgrades the experience of camping, travel, or power outages. They pack light, require only hot or cold water, and deliver a vastly superior product when comfort is most needed. Always keep a small stash of your preferred specialty instant coffee in your car or emergency box. It is a small piece of preparedness that pays off hugely in morale. Another factor often overlooked is the water itself. Even the best freeze-dried coffee will taste terrible if dissolved in hard, chlorinated, or metallic-tasting tap water. The quality brands assume you are starting with clean water. If you are serious about achieving the best possible cup, use filtered water, either from a pitcher filter or bottled spring water. Clean water is the silent fourth ingredient in a perfect cup of instant coffee. Do not allow poor water quality to sabotage your investment in a superior product. Remember that this knowledge is a shield against manipulative advertising. The scam brands spend millions on television and digital ads, using celebrity endorsements and emotionally charged slogans. They are attempting to bypass your rational thought. Our wisdom teaches us to ignore the noise and focus on the data printed on the back of the package. They want your loyalty based on nostalgia. We want your loyalty based on truth. We have provided the tools, the 3 checks, the 5 recommended companies, and the proper brewing techniques. This is actionable wisdom. Make the choice to elevate your daily routine from a compromise to a true moment of enjoyment and integrity. The journey to a better life is paved with these small, intentional decisions. To summarize the key distinction one last time, when you look at the 7 avoidance brands, you are looking at products where the manufacturer started with the worst available raw material and applied the most destructive process. They are selling a caffeinated burnt substance, not coffee. When you look at the 5 recommended brands, you see manufacturers who started with specialty-grade, ethical beans, the best available, and applied the most gentle, expensive process, freeze-drying. They are selling concentrated excellence. This difference is not subtle, it is absolute. Let's quickly review the specific deceptive terms used by the scam brands. If you see coffee beverage mix, that is a code for fillers and sugars. If you see spray-dried solubles, that is a code for high heat processing and acrylamide risk. If the packaging uses a generic image of tropical scenery but provides no country of origin, that is a code for untraceable, low-cost commodity sourcing that risks mycotoxins. Learn these codes. They are the keys to unlocking the truth behind the marketing. Conversely, the honest terms you should seek are 100% Arabica, freeze-dried, single origin, and recognized ethical stamps. These terms represent a verifiable commitment to quality that goes beyond mere advertising. Your morning is precious. It sets the tone for your day, influences your focus, and impacts your long-term wellness. Do not allow your most crucial ritual to be dictated by the lowest common denominator of industrial production. Choose the path of informed consumption. Choose the product that respects your health and your palate. This commitment to understanding the hidden truths in the products we consume is central to Primetime Wisdom. We believe that a well-lived life is an examined life. We encourage you to internalize these findings and make the transition today. The power of small, consistent improvements cannot be overstated. This comprehensive guide wouldn't be complete without addressing the perceived barrier of time. Many viewers initially turn to instant coffee because they believe they simply do not have the 10 minutes required for a traditional pour-over or a drip machine. The specialty instant coffee we recommend closes this time gap entirely. It takes 20 seconds to scoop the granules and pour the water. This speed, coupled with high quality, provides a true solution, not a compromise. It negates the last excuse for buying the scam brands. You are getting the equivalent of a meticulously brewed cup, without the effort or the specialized equipment. This is the definition of leveraging technology for a wiser, more efficient lifestyle. Furthermore, consider the money saved by avoiding expensive coffee shop drinks. Many people buy those overpriced lattes because they perceive their home instant coffee as undrinkable. By investing slightly more in a quality instant coffee, brand H or J for example, you create an enjoyable, high-quality beverage at home for mere pennies. This shift provides both a superior product and significant long-term financial savings. The initial small investment pays for itself quickly by eliminating the need for daily cafe runs. For those prone to afternoon slumps, switching to a cleaner instant coffee often helps stabilize energy levels. The high-heat processed brands can often deliver a sudden, jarring caffeine hit followed by a rapid drop. The gentle extraction methods of the freeze-dried specialty brands tend to result in a smoother absorption curve, supporting sustained focus throughout the morning and early afternoon. Pay close attention to how your body reacts to the new brands. You may find that your afternoon clarity is noticeably improved. This transition is an upgrade to your daily operating system. It's a subtle shift that yields significant results. We encourage you to act swiftly on this information. Check your local grocery store or online retailer for the brands that meet our 3 criteria. Do not wait until your current jar is empty. Dispose of the scam products now and immediately replace them with quality. The sooner you make the switch, the sooner you start enjoying the benefits. Let's talk about the final ethical component of this choice, particularly relevant to the Primetime Wisdom audience. When you choose a brand based on low cost alone, you are implicitly supporting the chain of exploitation that makes those prices possible. This means accepting the poor wages, unsustainable farming, and environmental damage often associated with commodity-grade coffee sourcing, the very foundation of the 7 scam brands. When you deliberately choose certified brands like Brand I, which emphasize fair trade and organic practices, your dollars become a positive force. You are ensuring that small farmers receive fair compensation and that the land is treated responsibly. This choice aligns your consumption with your values. It transforms a simple purchase into an ethical statement. The pursuit of wisdom involves recognizing our interdependence. The quality of your morning cup is directly tied to the well-being of the farmer who grew the bean. By avoiding the brands that hide their sourcing and choosing those built on transparency, you are building a legacy of conscious consumption. One final technical note to remember: agitation matters. When you are rehydrating your instant coffee, stir it gently but thoroughly. The goal is complete dissolution without incorporating too much air. Excessive stirring or shaking can introduce air bubbles that quickly oxidize the flavor, leading to a duller taste. A few smooth, complete stirs are all that is required to bring the freeze-dried crystals back to life. Treat the rehydration process with the same respect you would treat any finely crafted product. This knowledge concludes our exhaustive look at the instant coffee industry. You now possess the definitive guide to recognizing deception and selecting verifiable quality. The difference between a cup that harms and a cup that sustains is often just a matter of reading 2 lines on a label. Use this wisdom every day. The transformation of your morning ritual should be celebrated. Think about the peace of mind gained from knowing you are actively avoiding unnecessary chemicals and supporting ethical business practices. This simple switch is a micro-decision that contributes to a macro-level feeling of well-being and control. That sense of control is essential for thriving in later life. We have explored the depths of the scam, identified the best solutions, and provided the practical steps to implement the change today. This detailed 60-minute guide ensures you are fully equipped. No longer will you fall victim to deceptive marketing or low-grade processing. Remember the 3-point checklist: freeze-dried process, pure ingredients, and transparent sourcing. Hold every instant coffee product accountable to that standard. If you forget the specific brand names we mentioned, those 3 criteria will protect you absolutely. Do not let this knowledge simply sit idle. The real power of wisdom is in its application. Go to your kitchen right now. Assess your current coffee supply. If it's a scam brand, discard it. If it's one of the few good ones, enjoy it with a newfound appreciation for its quality. Start your search for your next better cup. This is the essence of prime-time wisdom, cutting through the noise to bring you insights that genuinely improve your daily life. We are committed to helping you make informed decisions, ensuring that every choice you make is a step toward a richer, wiser, and more intentional future. If this video has empowered you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Joining our community ensures you receive all the practical advice and profound insights we deliver. We look forward to seeing you in our next deep dive. Live wisely and enjoy your perfect cup of coffee. The final layer of deception in the instant coffee industry involves packaging size and implied value. The scam brands often sell in huge jars, creating the illusion of economy. They want you to think, more coffee for less money. This works because the underlying product is so inexpensive to produce, thanks to the cheap beans and rapid spray drying process. However, once you open that massive jar, the shelf life of the contained flavor begins to plummet. As air and moisture seep in with every opening, the product oxidizes, leading to rapid flavor decay. By the time you reach the bottom of that oversized jar, the coffee tastes stale and flat, requiring even more sugar and filler to make it palatable. This is a subtle trap that fools you into paying for volume, not sustained quality. The premium brands, recognizing this flaw, sell in smaller airtight vessels, or, ideally, single-serve packets. While the initial cost per jar may seem higher, the cost per so-quality cup remains consistent because the flavor never degrades. Buying the appropriate size ensures you are always consuming the coffee at its peak intended flavor. This is true economy, getting the maximum value from every dollar spent, rather than letting the last half of the product go to waste. Think of this as managing your inventory wisely. Do not let large, cheap purchases dictate your consumption patterns or compromise your standards simply because you feel obligated to finish the jar. Discarding poor quality, stale food is a necessary act of self-respect. The knowledge shared here transcends the coffee aisle. It is a philosophy of wise consumption applicable to all processed goods. Always question the extremes. Why is one product so much cheaper? Why is one package so disproportionately large? Often, the answer lies in a fundamental compromise on quality, ethics, or process. Apply the principles of transparency and purity everywhere you shop. By doing so, you elevate not just your coffee, but your entire lifestyle. We need to spend a moment on the subtle effects of poor instant coffee on sleep quality. Many people experience disrupted sleep, not because they drank coffee late in the day, but because the poor quality coffee they consumed hours earlier contained irritants or excessive amounts of residual chemicals. Mycotoxins, even in low doses, can interfere with normal biological processes, contributing to a generalized feeling of malaise or restlessness that manifests at night. Similarly, the inconsistent processing of caffeine in the scam brands can lead to unpredictable lingering effects. By switching to the clean, certified, and pure instant coffee brands, the 5 worth buying, you are minimizing these unknown variables. You are consuming a product that has been treated with care, resulting in a cleaner metabolic experience. This stability often translates directly into better sleep hygiene. A wise life is built on restful nights. If you are struggling with sleep and relying on cheap instant coffee, try making the switch for just 1 month. Observe the difference. The small change in your morning may lead to profound benefits in your evenings. The integrity of the bean is foundational. Specialty coffee growers, the source for our recommended brands, typically harvest beans selectively by hand. They pick only the ripest cherries. The commodity brands, which supply the avoidance list, often employ strip picking, harvesting all cherries regardless of ripeness, including sticks, leaves, and unripe fruit. This mixture of poor quality material contributes to the need for aggressive, destructive processing, which circles back to the problems we identified. Your choice supports either meticulous care or industrial speed. By supporting the meticulous care, the high-altitude, hand-picked, slow-dried approach, you are investing in a system that respects the final product and your health. This is the ultimate proof that the small price difference is more than justified. The final element we must address is adaptation for seniors who may have specific health concerns, particularly around caffeine sensitivity or digestive issues. While instant coffee, in general, is convenient, the quality of the instant coffee becomes even more crucial for this group. If caffeine sensitivity is a concern, the principle of purity still applies, even when seeking decaf. The decaffeination process itself can be harsh. The scam brands often use chemical solvents like methylene chloride to strip the caffeine, leaving trace residues. This is another variable you want to eliminate. When looking for decaf instant coffee, always seek brands that utilize the Swiss water process. This is a non-chemical, gentle method using only water and charcoal filters to remove the caffeine. Among our 5 recommended brands, many offer a Swiss water processed decaf option. This ensures that even your decaffeinated choice is clean and free of unnecessary solvents. For those prone to heartburn or acid reflux, the type of bean is key. Robusta beans and heavily dark-roasted coffees, common among the scam brands, tend to be more acidic and irritating to the stomach. The high-quality Arabica beans, particularly those lightly or medium roasted, are naturally lower in acidity. By switching to a high-quality medium-roasted freeze-dried Arabica instant, you are immediately lowering the irritants in your daily cup. This is a powerful adjustment. You don't have to give up coffee entirely to manage digestive issues. You simply need to upgrade the quality and gentleness of the bean and the processing method. Listen to your body's response. Wisdom demands we pay attention to these physical signals and adjust our consumption accordingly. The knowledge we have provided is not just about avoiding bad taste. It is about promoting sustained physical comfort and health. Make the switch to a cleaner, gentler cup today. We have now reached the conclusion of our extensive investigation into the instant coffee industry. We started by dissecting the great scam, the systematic use of cheap, spray-dried Robusta beans, dangerous levels of acrylamide, and misleading filler ingredients found in 7 popular brands. We identified brands A through G as products built on compromise, designed to prioritize corporate profit over consumer wellness. We then shifted our focus entirely, revealing the genuine excellence of the 5 brands H through L that prove instant coffee can be both convenient and high quality. These innovators rely on the gentle freeze-drying process, use superior Arabica beans, and maintain transparency through ethical sourcing and purity standards. They are the clear path forward. The cumulative lesson is simple. Never underestimate the importance of your daily habits. The small choice you make every morning has compounding effects on your health, your energy, and your ethical footprint. This is the core principle of prime-time wisdom. We seek not just immediate answers, but actionable wisdom that delivers lasting benefits. Your challenge now is to apply this knowledge immediately. Check your kitchen. If you find a scam brand, remove it. Replace it with a product that meets the 3 criteria: freeze-dried, pure ingredients, and transparent sourcing. Do not delay. Make the conscious choice to upgrade your well-being today. If this deep dive has empowered your decisions and clarified a confusing market, show your support. Like this video, subscribe to Primetime Wisdom, and hit the notification bell. We are here to help you live a wiser, healthier, and more examined life. Thank you for joining us on this investigation. Choose well, live wisely, and enjoy your perfect cup. Wait, before you go, let us underline the most actionable takeaway from this entire 60-minute guide. It relates to Brand A, the industry giant we discussed first. Because Brand A is so ubiquitous, it often becomes the default purchase, even when consumers know better. The sheer size and visibility of the scam brands are their greatest weapon. You must consciously break the habit loop. The next time you are shopping, do not walk straight to the coffee aisle where Brand A sits prominently. Instead, go to the specialty food section or the dedicated organic/certified coffee shelf. You will often find the premium, freeze-dried options displayed there, separate from the mass-market offenders. Changing your physical path in the store is a powerful way to break the psychological grip of convenience and habit. This small navigational change physically reinforces the intentionality we've been discussing. You are deliberately choosing the path of quality, moving away from the mass-produced commodity. It is a moment of conscious friction, reminding you why you watched this entire video. Furthermore, recognize that the cost difference, when calculated per serving, is often less than a 25-cent increase. If you can afford the time to watch this video, you can afford the slight premium for a dramatically superior product. Do not let minor cost anxiety overshadow major quality improvement. We have presented the evidence, exposed the deception, and offered the solutions. The decision to uphold your own standard of health and taste is now purely an act of will. We trust you will choose wisely. We have one final crucial piece of information regarding the safety of high-heat processing. For those who are meticulous about long-term health, understanding the link between high-heat spray drying and the formation of acrylamide is non-negotiable. The industry knows about the acrylamide risk. They are legally required to manage it, but complete elimination is nearly impossible when using high-temperature processing. The compounds that form acrylamide are naturally present in the coffee bean. When subjected to the intense, rapid heat of spray drying, the chemical reaction accelerates. Contrast this with the freeze-drying method. Because the extraction and drying occur at extremely low temperatures, that specific chemical reaction is fundamentally inhibited. This is why testing consistently shows dramatically lower, often near undetectable, levels of acrylamide in high-quality freeze-dried instant coffees. When you choose one of the 7 avoidance brands, you are making a calculated trade-off, convenience for a known chemical risk. When you choose one of the 5 recommended brands, you are prioritizing safety by eliminating that risk factor entirely, while maintaining convenience. This distinction is the bedrock of our investigation. Health is not a place for compromise, especially when a superior, safer alternative is readily available. Remember, the commitment to wisdom means eliminating unnecessary risks from your environment. Start with your morning cup. Make the choice that supports long-term vitality. The power is in the process. Let's conclude by reinforcing the uplifting nature of this transition. This 60-minute guide should not leave you feeling discouraged by industry deception, but rather empowered by the clarity we've achieved. You now hold the key to discerning genuine quality from cheap imitation. Think of the 5 recommended brands as your coffee allies. They represent ethical producers who value your health and taste experience. By purchasing their products, you are voting with your wallet for a better industry standard, one based on transparency, sustainability, and superior agricultural practices. This is activism applied to the kitchen counter. We began this journey by questioning the cost of convenience. We end it by confirming that the highest quality does not require the highest effort. It simply requires the right knowledge. You have replaced assumptions with evidence. You have traded blind habit for informed intention. This mastery over a simple daily choice echoes our channel's mission. Wisdom is perfected with age, not by avoiding challenges, but by applying knowledge to optimize life's recurring decisions. Every morning, as you enjoy your clean, vibrant, freeze-dried coffee, you will be reminded of the time you invested in this education. Take pride in your informed choice. Share this wisdom with others who might still be trapped by the instant coffee scam. The more people who demand quality, the faster the industry is forced to change. Go forth, brew well, and live wisely. One final point of wisdom regarding the temperature. We advised letting the boiling water cool for 60 seconds to reach the optimal 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a temperature-controlled kettle, utilize it. Setting it directly to 175 degrees Fahrenheit removes all guesswork and ensures maximum flavor extraction without scorching the delicate freeze-dried crystals. This small investment in a specialized kettle pays dividends in the consistency and quality of your daily cup. Consistency is a pillar of a well-lived life. The ability to reproduce an excellent result every time, whether it is a perfect cup of coffee or a mindful morning routine, builds confidence and reduces needless friction. The old, cheap brands delivered inconsistent results because of their rushed processing and variable sourcing. The new, quality brands deliver predictable excellence because their processes are scientifically controlled and slow. Embrace the tools that enhance consistency. Use the measuring spoon provided by the manufacturer precisely. Use filtered water. Use the temperature-controlled kettle. These are minor efforts that elevate the instant coffee ritual to an art form. Remember the story of the scam. It relies on volume and ignorance. Your response must be precision and knowledge. Do not underestimate the power of these small details. Every detail matters in the pursuit of perfection. By attending to them, you ensure that your morning cup is not just safe and convenient, but truly exceptional.